So one thing that I kind of realized is that my duvet cover doesn't actually fit on my duvet. Not because there's something wrong with the duvet, but because I have inadvertently bought a king-size duvet cover for a double-sized duvet. And I know this sounds really whiny, but you guys don't understand how much that frustrates me. Hey, what's up everyone? So, haven't done a video in a while. As most of you have probably noticed, I've just had a lot of stuff going on. Kind of a lot of stuff, not really a lot of stuff. Not actual physical stuff, just stuff in my head. You know when you think about things too much and you kind of have a bit of a crisis? That's kind of what happened. But don't worry guys, crisis has relatively been averted and I should be back to making videos every week. I say this now before I don't actually record a video for next week. Today I would like to talk to you guys about how do you carve. That wasn't an accidental grammatical error there, by the way, guys. My English isn't that bad. So most of you may know this, but my mum was in a car accident at the beginning of December last year. Don't worry, she's okay. Thank you for all your kind messages, wishing her well and supporting our family through a pretty difficult time. As bad a state that the car was in, she has surprisingly come out of it mostly unscathed. The main reason for today's video is that for most of you out there, you're probably in the same boat as me. You know, when you're thinking of buying a vehicle, or if you've already bought a vehicle and, you know, have already been through the process, then you probably understand what it is that I'm talking about, especially if you don't know much about cars. So I am not a car expert. I know fuck all about cars. I know that you stick a key in the ignition, you put your foot down and you go. Yes, I drive an automatic. There is no shame in driving automatics, although I have to admit that the lack of availability on vehicles that I can purchase is kind of annoying. But anyway, so after the accident and after sorting out all the car insurance issues, I was tasked with the job of buying a new car. So I was looking at loads of new cars and I realized something. I don't actually know what I'm looking for. I think the first time that I bought the car, it was just kind of mostly look and mostly me going, yeah, that'll do. But with a lot of thanks to Ryan's older brother Lee, who actually understands cars. Lee very patiently and very kindly looked at all the options that I sent him out of certain cars that I'd seen on the internet, and he even took me on a couple of trips to go view these cars, and it was a good thing that he did, because I don't know what to do when buying a car. I'm pretty sure that I didn't do this when I bought my first car, but apparently you're meant to check under the bonnet. But saying that, if I had checked under the bonnet anyway, I don't even think I know what I should have been looking for. If I looked under the bonnet and I saw something like this, I'd have probably been like, yeah, that's the inside of the car. So for those of you who are like me, who don't know anything about cars, these are probably some of the things that you should do when buying a car for the first time. Number one, check under the bonnet. This is a pretty useless piece of advice, especially if you don't know what you're looking for, but I always think that if you kind of pretend to know what you're doing, people are generally okay with that and maybe believe. Yeah. Number two, this is another little bit of information that Lee gave me. When he checked under the bonnet, he realized it was warm. Now apparently, you should be very cautious if you are checking a car and it has been driven recently, because there are certain problems that arise more in cold weather than there are at a warmer temperature. And you know, he didn't have any proof, but he kind of thought that maybe the reason why the engine was warm is that the owner of the car was trying to hide something. And the reason why we suspected this even more, because when we asked the owner how long ago it had been driven, he said in the morning. Now, a car does not take 8 hours to cool down, especially in cold weather. That's just like physics. Number three, I think this is the most important one, but if you don't understand cars, take someone with you that does. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone who's really into them like Lee is, but somebody who knows what they're looking for is a good person to have. Just someone who can tell you that, yes, that is an engine. It's pretty helpful. I kind of thought that I'd have more than 3 points, but it appears that's all I've got for you guys. So there you are, guys. There is my pathetic amount of tips for you for when you buy your first or your second or any number of vehicles. That's it for this week's video. Do you possibly have any tips that you could recommend to me about buying a car? Don't forget to click here to check out some of my other videos, and don't forget to click here to subscribe, and I will see you guys next week, hopefully, for another video. Bye!